Mysterious Realities. Case File 3. The Case of Mary Ann Cotton. For most women, the birth of their children bring long-lasting joy to their lives. They marry for love and have hopes that their marriage will be strong and last until death do us part. But for one woman, children became a burden and husbands an opportunity to cash in on life insurance. Mary Ann Cotton was born Mary Ann Robson in October 1832. Her birth was recorded at Low Moorsley, which is now a part of the Houghton-le-Spring area of County Durham in England. The early death of her father meant that Mary Ann was forced to find employment to support her family, so she became a nurse. It was reported that Mary Ann was a beautiful young woman, and it wasn't long before she was attracting male attention, and at the tender age of 20 she married William Mowbray. Seeking work, William was offered work in Plymouth, moving his new bride down to the south coast of England, where they went on to have 5 children. This was when the deaths started. Whilst living in Plymouth, 4 of Mary Ann and William's children died from gastric fever. Following on from such tragedy, the couple returned to County Durham. Mary Ann gave birth to a further 3 children who also died. Becoming unhappy with life, Mary Ann looked for distraction, and it is believed that she had several affairs. Eventually, just like his children, William died from an intestinal disorder in 1864, leaving Mary Ann to claim a payout on his life insurance policy. Leaving her only surviving daughter in the care of her mother, she moved to Sunderland to return to working as a nurse. Mary Ann wasted little time following William's death, and just over a year later she again married, with former patient George Ward becoming her second husband. However, this marriage was to be short-lived, with George dying from an intestinal disorder after just 1 year in 1866. Mary Ann again collected a large insurance payout. Mary Ann quickly moved on to James Robinson, who would shortly become husband number 3. Wherever Mary Ann went, death was not far behind, with Mary Ann's own mother also succumbing to the same fate as Mary Ann's other victims, and following the marriage 2 of James's children also died. James and Mary Ann had a daughter together. Sadly, this child also died at the hands of Mary Ann Cotton. Luckily for James, he became suspicious of Mary Ann after discovering she was stealing from him, and threw her onto the streets before having the chance to take this life too. As usual, Mary Ann was not alone for long, as in 1870 she met yet another widower, Frederick Cotton. That same year Frederick lost his sister and youngest child, but in September he married Mary Ann despite her still being married to James Robinson. Mary Ann quickly conceived and gave birth to another child, a son. However, by the end of 1871 Frederick and 2 more children would die, and Mary Ann receiving yet another insurance payout. Alone again, Mary Ann quickly became involved again with Joseph Nattrass. However, she became pregnant, but Nattrass was not the father, but a gentleman called John Quick Manning. Unsurprisingly, Nattrass died in 1872. Mary Ann would confide to a local official that she was unable to marry Quick Manning due to her stepson, Charles Cotton, but that he wouldn't trouble her for much longer. When Charles died, official reported this to the police. An examination soon followed, and traces of arsenic were found in his stomach. This led to the exhumation of the bodies of Nattrass and 2 of Frederick's children. All 3 had been poisoned with arsenic. Now, with nowhere to turn, Mary Ann was charged with the murder of Charles Cotton. Mary Ann was again pregnant with her 13th child and gave birth in January 1873. This child would be only the second of her children to survive. In her trial, Mary Ann claimed that the poisoning came from everyday household items which at the time were known to contain arsenic, this including breathing in arsenic dust from wallpaper dye. Found guilty, Mary Ann was to be executed on March 24, 1873, however, the execution was very clumsy. The trapdoor on the gallows was not set high enough and Mary Ann's neck did not break. Her executioner then had to push down on her shoulders for over 3 minutes before she finally died. Mary Ann never confessed to any of the murders, and whilst it is generally accepted that she killed up to 21 people, the total could be much higher. Mary Ann was Britain's deadliest killer until Harold Shipman would go on to kill around 260 people. Further details of interest. Durham, unitary authority and geographic and historic county of northeastern England, near to the North Sea coast. Arsenic poisoning in humans most often results from the ingestion or inhalation of insecticides containing arsenious oxide, copper acetoarsenite, or calcium or lead arsenate. Exposure may be accidental, especially among children, or may be an occupational hazard, especially among agricultural workers handling insecticidal sprays and dusts. The sprayed fruits and vegetables, if not washed, may also bear enough arsenic to be potentially toxic to the consumer. Among industrial workers, arsine may be a source of accidental poisoning. Poisoning may also result from prolonged treatment with such medications as Fowler's solution, potassium arsenate, and arsphenamine. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation on Mary Ann Cotton. Please hit the like button and share this case file. It would be great if you subscribed to Mysterious Realities so that you can be notified as soon as new cases are released. Remember, all realities are possible, but ours are mysterious realities.